Jerry Jones bent a rule that his father had and thought you wouldn't have to get a regular job if you treated your football-like job. Yeah. Did that plan hit a snag?
Well, first of all, I give him all the credit for understanding my passion for the game of football, and he knew how bad I not only wanted to play at the high school level, but my goal and dream too was to play in college. And he said, if that's what you want to do, then you're going to spend the time and treat it like a job. Well, unfortunately, you asked the question. I had a bad day at work, and I thought he was not in the area. And one of the things was I had to not be around the house. I needed to be working all day. And one day he came home middle of the day. He wasn't out of town, as I suspected, and he came home to me in the swimming pool with a group of about 30 other kids, and we were having a nice little swimming party. And as we were enjoying ourselves in the pool, they were loud. We had music, and I was one of the loudest, enjoying the moment. And as things started to progress, I noticed that people started just staring at my house, and one by one, the octave, the sound level started to drop in the pool. And I said, well, what's going on here? And I looked up, and my father was sitting on the porch, and he was giving me one of these, and I just said, oh my gosh. And I looked around to all my friends, and I said, hey, guys, girls, the party's over. I've got to have a little visit up here with my father. And he said, Stephen, he goes, I've got a suit out of your closet. You go put it on, clean up. And he said, we're going on a little job interview. Well, I had no idea what he was talking about and didn't want to say much because I knew I wasn't in a good position to say anything. And so we got in that car, and he said, well, we're headed over to Wendy's. Mr. Hammer at the time owned the Wendy's, and he was a friend of Jerry's. And
Jerry Hammer.
Said, Jerry Hammer, we're going to pull up, and we're going to have a little visit with Mr. Hammer about you having a job during the day at Wendy's. You need to get your work ethic. Obviously, you couldn't handle being your own boss, so we'll just have you report every morning to Wendy's and see how that goes. So we went in, we met Mr. Hammer. He kind of walked me through the process of the training program and what I'd be doing, cleaning out the grills and the griddles and the grease pits. And of course, I was saying, how have I got myself in this position? And
saying that to yourself.
Saying that to myself. And I was very attentive. And at the end of the interview, Mr. Hammer says, well, I think I'll hire you. You've got a job here at Wendy's. Congratulations. Well, I shook my hand. Yes, sir. Thank you. He said, I expect to see you here at 8 in the morning. Well, I think Jerry had a visit with him. We get back in the car. He goes, hey, Stephen, you fired up about this job? And well, yes, sir, I'll be ready to go to work. And he goes, well, you learning anything from this? And I said, yes, I have. And he goes, well, what? And he goes, well, I shouldn't have been home. I should have been working. And he goes, well, you know what? I'm a big believer in, maybe a second chance. And he said, do you think if, already talked to Mr. Hammer, we went through the interview, I've already told him that we were going to do this, and he said, if you think you can get it right, I'm going to give you one more chance. And I can promise you I was never within 5 miles of my house for the rest of my summer workouts and jobs during my next 2 years. But it was a valuable lesson. It was certainly a point well made. It was a point that needed to be made, and it's certainly something that I learned from.